This is He Knows Everything, bringing you there. Heat and far. We keeping a foot on the what? Geeks. We keeping a foot on the what? Geeks. Let's talk about it, man. Barry Bonds is an interesting individual because Barry Bonds has got basically shysted. They've disrespected this man. This man is a GOAT in baseball. For baseball to not induct this man into the Hall of Fame for the number of times that they've done, it's a double standard. Keep that same energy, BBWWA. Keep that same energy, BBWWA. These are the people that are given the authority to decide who goes into the Hall of Fame. That's bullshit and fuck shit. This man, basically at bat, nobody commands at bat like Barry Bonds. Nobody had the hand-eye coordination or hand and eye coordination like Barry Bonds. This guy's on bat or at bat percentage is off the fucking charts. His home run 756, second to none. This man has dominated the sport. Did he cheat at some point? Yes. But there's a lot of motherfuckers that's in the Hall of Fame right now that has fucking cheated. Are they going to remove them? Are they going to excoriate them? Babe Ruth has been known to be a gambler. See, don't get me started here, because you know he knows everything gets started. Then now he's gonna have to open up the skeletons here. Why is Babe Ruth still in the Hall of Fame when everyone knows he was a known gambler? He used to gamble and bet against his fucking team, and all they did was slap him on the fucking wrist. So Babe Ruth gets to do these things, but at the same volition in the same moment, Barry Bonds doesn't get to do this. Yes, he cheated. He took performance enhancement drug. But a lot of motherfuckers took performance enhancement drug. To be honest with you guys, cocaine was a performance enhancement drug in sports. Did you guys know that? In football and baseball and basketball, when guys wanted to be extra spry and they wanted to be on some extra Herculean, Hulk type shit, they would be coked the fuck out. We've heard this when Miami Dolphins played the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s. Terry Bradshaw opened up and told the fucking business that everybody wanted to be extra on some extra strong shit. So because they wanted to be on some extra strong shit, everybody was on that coke. These are facts. These are cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat true telefashion fact variation. So we have to be honest here, man. We're not going to sit here and jeopardize and lie. We'll tell the truth. How does Barry Bonds not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? With everything this man has done, this man has petrified pitchers. And we're talking about some of the greatest pitchers, man. From Roger Clemens, Kirk Schillings. Do I need to keep on fucking going on? That tall motherfucker, what was his name? With the Arizona Diamondbacks. That motherfucker was a hell of a fucking pitcher. Cy Young winner like nobody's business, man. Barry Bonds put fear in these motherfuckers. Mariano Rivera, he knows everything, talked about a closer like nobody's business. He put fear in that motherfucker. He put fear in these guys, man. Every time Barry Bonds got at bat percentage, it was over. He commanded it. If you look at Derek Jeter fashioned himself after Barry Bonds. He said, I looked up to this guy. You know how great Derek Jeter was? And he looked up to fucking Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds was that dude, man. And even before, if you guys really want to just go by the fucking numbers, even before steroids, Barry Bonds dominated this sport like nobody's business. So let's be honest with ourselves and let's tell ourselves the truth. Let's not sugarcoat shit. Let's not lie. Let's not deviate. And let's not sit here and cut against the grain of any situation. And let's be honest. And in true honesty fashion here, Barry Bonds was a dominating presence and a dominating player to the sport of baseball. He dominated like nobody's business. So how the fuck does he not deserve Hall of Fame? Hall of Fame is not basically relegated to these writers and these motherfuckers bringing people in. The Hall of Fame should be relegated upon what you have contributed to the sport. The Hall of Fame should be based upon what your asset is, what your validation, what your liquidity as a player is to the sport of baseball. Barry Bonds made everybody raise their level of play up. That in of itself brings him into the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds is the GOAT. That in of itself brings him into the Hall of Fame. Go look at his batting average. Hall of Fame fucking material. Go look at his numbers. Hall of Fame fucking material. Go look at pitchers and their numbers against Barry Bonds versus and relate as to anyone else, including Derek Jeter. Hall of Fame fucking numbers. So how the fuck does this motherfucker don't deserve the Hall of Fame? He knows everything is waiting on that one. I'll Hulk Hogan that. Let me say it again. No. How about we do this? Re-Hulk Hogan that. When it's all said and done, Barry Bonds deserves the fucking Hall of Fame. Every motherfucker knows this shit. So why is motherfuckers being weird about this shit and not giving Barry Bonds is just due? He knows everything is waiting on this answer, and he's waiting for motherfuckers to tell him this. Because in its most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat true telefashion variation, the fact that this man and what this man has brought to the sport of baseball, and the fact that this guy's ability is unreal. King Griffey Jr. talks about Barry Bonds. He's gotten slide to the mouth because he thought he would be in Barry Bonds' position, right? But Barry Bonds, he came to the conclusive state, the finality and the totality eventually, that Barry Bonds was superior to him. Barry Bonds made a lot of people felt basically nervous of themselves. He knows everything has Barry Bonds in him. Barry Bonds has some he knows everything in him. These types of individuals make people nervous because their aura is originated aura. See, originated aura always gets polarization, man. People need to understand that. And Barry Bonds gets polarized because Barry Bonds what? Had a little moment where he cheated. Well, if you ain't cheating, you ain't fucking winning. Michael Jordan said that shit. In every sport, if we're being honest with ourselves, we can find any and every motherfucker that has cheated. Some way, some form, some fashion, and some variation. But Barry Bonds gets punished for it. See, we have to look at the deeper picture here. Because Barry Bonds is black. Let's be honest. They don't want no black face to be the GOAT of baseball. They don't want a black face to be someone who represents the sport. They want it to be a white motherfucker. This is why they punishing Barry Bonds the way they fucking punish him. Let's just be honest here. Let's be cold-hearted. Let's be unadulterated. And let's be cutthroat true telefashion variation associated behind it. This is what's going on. And if we're being honest with ourselves, and we're telling the truth, and like this series, the reality check series, we're being reality checked the fuck up in this installment, in this episode, then we have to tell the truth. Barry Bonds is not being put into the Hall of Fame because he's a black man. They did this shit to Hank Aaron. When Hank Aaron was the initial breaker of the record, they basically passed him into kind of like funny, jokey pastime. They didn't take him, like, they didn't put him in rarefied company, even though what he did put himself in rarefied company. Hank Aaron obviously doesn't have the personality that Barry Bonds has. He's just a different individual. Everybody's different in the way they comport themselves. But Hank Aaron knew deep down that he should have been the previous GOAT. And here Barry Bonds shows up and wipes away what he fucking did. So what the fuck are we talking about here, man? Did Barry Bonds not command his sport? Did Barry Bonds not strike fear to pitchers? Relief pitchers, closers, early on pitchers. Did he not strike fear to these motherfuckers? Did Barry Bonds not command at bat? Did Barry Bonds not have the sickest hand and eye coordination? So if Barry Bonds had all of these things and he checked off all the markers, why the fuck was he in a first-time ballot Hall of Famer? Are you gonna tell me because he had PED? Stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense and go sit down somewhere and what? Higgity fucking hush. I keeps the foot on the what? I keeps the foot on the what? Sports always reveal their ugly heads. Look at Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan's the GOAT. And they still got Jerry West, a guy that's 1 out of fucking 9. 11.1% NBA Finals average in performance as the fucking logo. Sports always showcases their racial ugly head. That's the cold-hearted. That's the underdog reading. That's the cut from Teller fashion. I keeps the foot on the whoop. Oh, geeks. I keeps the foot on the whoop. Oh, geeks. He knows everything. Check it out.